Hi everyone. I hope you've all been having a great day today and enjoying our guest speakers and our amazing webinars. And it's great to see so many of you on this last session before we break for our prize giving and our long awaited and deserved drinks. It is my pleasure to introduce our next presenter, VMware's Trevor Gertis, who's going to take us through what is SD-WAN and why.
Thanks, Maria.
Sorry, I'll just hold you back there, Trevor. Before we start, can I ask you to please submit any questions you may have in the Q&A panel, and if we have time and we can hold you back before those drinks, we'll try and answer those for you. So, without further ado, over to you, Trevor.
Thanks, Monique. Bit of echo there, that's right. Thanks everyone for joining me this afternoon. I hear it's been quite a packed day, and I'm just looking at the numbers of people here. I guess we're over 100 odd attendees for this afternoon, so I'm really pleased you've stayed around to listen to me rabbit on about what is SD-WAN. So we'll get cracking on this. I've got to remember where my mouse goes. So my name's Trevor Gertis. I'm a solution engineer out of our SD-WAN team at VMware. I've been at VMware for 12 years now. And I've always been on that network and security side of things. SD-WAN came up as a technology for us a few years ago when we acquired VeloCloud, and it's been a big mover and shaker within our customer base and with the industry in general. Now, a lot of that really, you have to start understanding is why is SD-WAN changing the way people think? And really, it sort of comes down to the big question: where's your data now? Okay, our application mix in the last 5 years has really changed about where we're putting our applications, where we're potentially buying our applications from. I think things like Office 365 have really changed the way business looks at services, or especially software as a service, than anything else. Salesforce has been around for many years, and we've seen in the last couple of years, especially with where we are now, with COVID-19, things like Zoom, WebEx, Skype, etc., Microsoft Teams are really playing a big change inside our organizations of how we keep our teams together, our teams communicating, and communicating with our customers as well. And we've got to mix into that, all these SaaS applications with the fact that we've still got this private data center, okay, that contains potentially most of our corporate data, okay? And being able to mix all those different information resources together is really, really hard to provide that sort of access that you require. And we, to layer onto that particular problem, we look at the traditional WAN. The traditional WAN is not set up for the way business is having to operate now. We still look at the private lines being potentially expensive. Okay, are they CapEx, are they OpEx, all the different hardware things that go associated with that. But really, where we're seeing the big problems is around things like cloud services. Backhauling our applications. I'm having to use Office 365 on my client machines in a branch, come back through my private data center, and then out to the internet through that. That means my applications potentially are running slow. Also, if I've got to move offices, add new offices, change offices, things like upgrading speed or augmenting or changing that particular tail into those offices, leads to slow deployment times. We're tending to see things like 3 months is not necessarily an unreasonable time frame to actually get a service delivered into an environment. So SD-WAN is really about trying to change that whole model. Okay, we then start looking at, trying to move this around. There we go. What does SD-WAN do? Okay, so SD-WAN is really about again, changing the way that can operate. Start thinking about, can I bring my own bandwidth? SD-WAN should be able to support any type of data service, whether that be wired or wireless, whether it be public or internet-based services, private or internet-based services. Any of those can be brought into the mix of providing bandwidth and access to a location, and then being able to take all of that bandwidth that's being delivered to that particular site, whether it is wired, wireless, public or private, okay, and aggregating it together into a blob that can be used effectively to provide service. And make that simple, so I should not have to be out, go and specify what the particular, technology capabilities are. We should just be able to detect all that information, all that, service. And then on top of that, look at, how do we treat it? Not just looking at is the service on or off, but how good is that service? Being able to do brownout detection and remediation of those things, detect things that are wrong. So even if I've got a substandard link, that I can still use it serviceably. Okay, being able to provide link performance remediation, things like forward error correction, jitter buffering. Okay, key to being able to keep my applications flowing correctly. And being able to understand that application, understanding the difference between Microsoft Teams and Zoom, okay, between Office 365 and Salesforce, using that intelligence of what the application happens to be, okay, and building that into a business policy, okay, to define the characteristics that I want that application to behave. I might want to have Office 365 going direct to the internet, okay, because I trust Office 365. But if I'm going to something like Facebook or the Sydney Morning Herald or to stuff.com, okay, I might want to have that traverse through some sort of cloud security broker, okay, and being able to independently redirect different traffic characteristics, even down to different websites through different exit points onto the internet or into my data center environment, and have all of that being cloud managed, okay, not having to build massive amounts of infrastructure to support this new technology. Okay, giving out the ability to do low-touch provisioning, where you can simply ship a device and tell somebody through their mobile phone to activate it, and it goes down and pulls down its appropriate configuration. And then once it's in operation, being able to give you all the tools to be able to manage and monitor what's going on in that particular site. Visually see simple things like how much bandwidth is Office 365 using, or how much bandwidth is things like Netflix or YouTube or other media stream services using in that particular environment, and then seeing also the characteristics of those WAN links. How are they performing? So with those benefits, okay, all that technology, we look at, so the benefits that VMware's SD-WAN can provide, it's really around those three tenets. Simplified WAN management. I shouldn't have to worry too much about the delivery of service. I should be able to just plug it in and it's going to, deliver 99% of what I can out of the box, okay? The assured application performance is key, because I want to know that my business applications are getting the right priority in a simple visual business policy, and being able to manage that on-ramp to cloud, not necessarily having to backhaul everything into my data center, being able to selectively break out the applications that I want that are business critical, maybe things like Office 365, Salesforce, WebEx, Zoom, Workday and other things, being able to say, you can go directly to the internet, but everything else, I want to put other controls around you, okay? And being able to direct that to the appropriate resource simply and efficiently. Keep using my arrow keys rather than my mouse button to click on. But anyway, so we look at the use cases that we see SD-WAN improving. Things like branch resiliency, being able to put 3-4 links into an office, using potentially consumer-grade links, but providing a business-grade service. My service at home here, okay, so I work from home. I've got 3 internet services that are aggregated together across 3 different telcos with 3 different types of carriage. I'm not worried about this dropping out during this session. And aggregating all that together, improving the application performance, being able to select, and prioritize my voice and video type services, my business applications, accessing those cloud services. We've talked about that, Office 365, OneDrive, things like that, and being able to put, constraints, limits, and boxes around the different types of services. Simplify that branch deployment. We've got customers who have deployed new offices in literally a matter of days. We've got retailers, okay, who get offered space in the middle of a shopping center at a week's notice, and they've got to put a full service store in that particular location where they can literally drop the environment complete with point of sale and everything else, all the resources into literally an unmanaged location. being able to manage all that regardless of where you exist across the world, being able to have that global reach, okay? Can make a huge cost savings to your organizations, and being able to layer on enhanced security. It's not just about the functions that we can provide on the box, it's also about how we can provide, dovetailing functions from other service providers like Checkpoint or Palo Alto, even Fortinet, okay? So now cloud services like Zscaler and Symantec can all be wrapped into the VeloCloud solution. So the solution components we use to deliver this, okay? The virtual edge, the physical hardware, okay? As simple as a box like this, okay, can be deployed into a customer site, okay, in a matter of minutes. Okay, they come in varying form factors depending on the throughput, the WAN connectivity that you require. Okay, they can be upgraded at any particular point in time. With simple swap outs of the box, because the configuration is held in that cloud managed repository in our WAN orchestrator. I can regenerate an activation key, apply that to a new box, and it will pull down the new config to a new hardware platform in a matter of minutes. All the management infrastructure we talked there, is in our orchestrator and controllers. You don't have to deploy any complex management on site. Everything is a cloud managed service. You subscribe to it, we look after it, we maintain it, we back it up. Okay, we run it for you. All you have to do is worry about your device deployment into a branch. And then those SD-WAN gateways, that provides that managed on-ramp to service, giving you an industrial footprint for your simple branch office, being able to aggregate all those commodity internet service potentially to a branch, okay, into a data center grade exit point onto the backbone of the internet. So the difference we see with VeloCloud, the assured application performance is really around understanding those applications through our deep packet inspection, learning what's actually happening on the wire, being able to classify and then use that intelligence to apply an appropriate business policy to the particular traffic class. The key, I think the magic sauce really is around what we call our dynamic multipath optimization. This is the nuts and bolts underneath, which allows us to aggregate all of the links that are provided to a box dynamically. Okay, every packet that runs into and out of our environment is monitored. Okay, so we know instantaneously when something goes wrong. Okay, we can see the variation in latency, we can see the variation in jitter, we can see packet loss, and using that intelligence to instantly steer the next packet onto the best available link. Okay, which means that we're able to guarantee that your service is going to get through. And even when we can't steer, being able to do things like remediate, okay, using forward error correction and jitter buffering to be able to manipulate the links that are there, the substandard links, and give you that business grade service to go along with it. Maintaining that quality of experience is what we are famous for. Even with massive packet loss on a link, still being able to deliver flawless video and audio across that environment, having links disappear midstream, okay, and not even hearing a pip or a squeak into the voice environment. Being able to aggregate that bandwidth to improve, performance, potentially, and even if those links are not, like for like, they are dissimilar, we can still aggregate 100 meg service with a 20 meg, 4G type service and still use that to accelerate applications. So the VeloCloud service we talked about there, those three simple components, our orchestrator, our edge, and our cloud gateway, allows us to federate our branch office with all the different cloud services and private data center services that we need. Being able to aggregate those different link technologies from end to end and manage the communication in that environment, depending on where you need to go. That cloud service footprint, it can be delivered right across the world. Our gateways are in every major data center around the world, including Australia. We're looking to put things into New Zealand early next year. And this allows us to then route to the to your SaaS service through that closest point of presence. Being able to extend that into places like Azure and AWS, okay, through the VeloCloud Edge virtual image being available in those catalogs, gives serviceability and the flexibility to how you need to access your data. That all-in-one WAN orchestration, okay, giving you just simple visual information. That whole configuration plane is just a web page, even down to troubleshooting device, doing packet captures, route dumps, everything else like that is all done from that centralized orchestration platform. I go and identify the device I want, identify the interface I want on that particular device, and tell the service to go and create a PCAP file of data from that particular interface. Can be as simple as all that. All that low-touch provisioning capability. You hear people talk about zero touch. I don't think there's anything so zero touch even exists. For us, it's low touch. Somebody's got to take it out of a box. Okay, so that means there is some sort of touching there. But what we're talking about is the simplicity of it. I said before, we create the config, we send the config as an email to potentially a mobile phone, then use that mobile phone to connect to the device once you unbox it. Okay, hit a URL. That URL will tell the box all it needs to do to go and configure itself. So in summary, why VeloCloud? I think there's three key things there. The challenges, operational complexity. SD-WAN as a service. It's that simple cloud-based management. It's that one-click activation. Simple segmentation, being able to isolate different network environments and provide end-to-end seamless separation. Being able to get over those bandwidth constraints. Being able to bond both internet and private networks together to provide seamless end-to-end communication. That link steering, the per packet link steering, okay, the next packet, okay. We're not waiting for a flow to fail and be detected. Literally, again, as soon as the link goes bad, we can steer traffic around the particular problem, okay. Providing that 5 nines uptime to a branch through simple commodity services. Actually, when you look at the way you build additive SLAs, you can achieve 6 nines or even 7 nines reliability to a simple branch office. Okay, that SaaS cloud readiness, being able to route to the closest gateway and then onwards from there to the appropriate SaaS service that you need. Being able to integrate. Right. My phone's beeping at me. Live TV. The cloud-based service, being able to integrate those web services, things like Zscaler, Palo Alto, Fortinet, any of those particular services can be put into our environment. The simplicity, okay, we look at those 3 simple components, nothing you need to install as a physical capability to manage the environment, okay. Looking at the capability, that dynamic multi-path optimization, the per packet link steering and the remediation, okay, and the scalability, being able to deliver thousands of endpoints to your environment. We've got customers that have 6, 7, 8,000 endpoints in their SD-WAN environment. Okay, and it's all generally been managed by potentially a handful of people who are looking after this. So with that, I thank you for your time this afternoon. I hope it's been informative about what the VeloCloud solution can do. Okay, we'll probably now open it up for questions.
Thanks, Trevor. We have just a couple of minutes to go, and I do have a couple of questions for you. Number one, what customers or industries have shown interest in moving to SD-WAN?
I suppose there's been no particular industry that has. A bit echo there. We've had a lot of success with retail. Okay, some of our biggest deployments have been retail environments. In ANZ, we've got we had one specialty shoe retailer. Okay, who deployed 300 sites in under 3 months. earlier, mid last year. Okay, they actually had a time budget, to deliver the service of 8 months to roll out the new solution. Okay, and they beat that by 5 months because the solution was so easy or so simple as part of that. Okay, they had store retail workers doing the installation of the environment. Okay, they didn't have to send out specialized people. Other industries, the building and construction industry has been very, very popular around that because they've got, often requirements to stand up offices in a matter of days from getting council approval for work sites. Okay, so being able to deliver a workable solution for them in that simple time frame, maybe deploying with with wireless 4G services, and then back-ending that with landline services at an appropriate time after the fact.
All right, thank you. And lucky last question, how does VeloCloud stack into a client network when there are no cloud services?
Look, it'll still, even if you're not using cloud services, you can still use the internet as an adjunct to your traditional MPLS environment. It still is a point-to-point VPN between sites. Whether that is your data center and a branch or your data center and cloud services, we don't really care. And that's the thing about it. We don't care what type of network you want to build. Okay, we can use it to replace your existing MPLS type private network. We can use it to adjunct your private MPLS network with extra bandwidth through cheap commodity internet services, just for that point-to-point or branch to data center or branch to head office type environment. It still works just as well.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much for that, Trevor. That's all we've got time for today. I'd like to take the time for everyone to say. I'll start again. I'd like to take this time to say thank you to everyone for your support and participation today. If you can please take just a few minutes to complete the survey that you'll be prompted on following this session, and we'll be seeing you in 8 minutes for prize giving and drinks. Thank you.